Niger's junta-appointed Prime Minister Lamine Zen visited Chad in his first overseas visit. Zen said that Niger was open to talks to resolve the regional crises, but stressed that the country maintaining independence necessitated any dialogue. Western powers and democratic African governments have called for the coup leaders to reinstate ousted President Mohamed Bazoum, who they have detained since July 26th. But the military leaders have refused and rejected attempts at negotiations. Former Ukrainian captives say they were subjected to torture, including frequent beatings and electric shocks, while in custody at a detention facility in Russia. If true, this would be serious violations of international humanitarian law. In an interview with the BBC, a dozen ex-detainees released in prisoner exchanges alleged physical and psychological abuse by Russian officers and guards. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has welcomed Director General of World Health Organization Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus to India. Modi used the name Tulsi Bai for Dr. Tedros, a name the Prime Minister gave to the Director General in his last visit. The WHO chief will take part in WHO Global Summit on Traditional Medicine, which is scheduled to be held on August 17th in Gujarat. Moscow's lunar 25 lander is due to reach the moon's orbit today as per Cosmos space agencies. This is the first such Russian mission in almost 50 years. The lander is set to revolve 100 kilometers above the moon's surface. It is due to stay on the moon for a year, where it is tasked with collecting samples and analyzing soil. Cameras installed on the lander have already taken distant shots of the Earth and moon from the space. North Korean state news agency confirms the US soldier who ran across the border into North Korea last month. They said that he faced inhumane treatment and racial discrimination while in the army. The 23-year-old dashed across the border from South Korea on 18th of July while on a guided tour. As per reports, Private King admitted to crossing illegally and wanted refuge in the north. It is the first time Pyongyang has acknowledged detaining the soldier. The US is trying to negotiate Private King's release with the help of the United Nations Command, which has a direct phone line to the North Korean army. Ukraine says Russian drones damaged grain facilities at Odessa. Russia claims it has shot down 3 Ukrainian drones near Moscow amid a surge in aerial attacks. As per Russian governor, at least one person has died due to shelling by Ukrainian forces in the border region. This is the latest attack on export facilities since Moscow scrapped a deal allowing Black Sea exports. China's Defense Minister Li Shangfu has attended the 11th Moscow Conference on International Security. On the sidelines of the meeting, Li held talks with Russian Defense Minister. The two exchanged views on cooperation between the two countries. Li has vowed to strengthen China's pragmatic cooperation with other militaries. Addressing the security meeting, Li said that the Global Security Initiative put forward by Chinese President Xi Jinping has received a positive response from the international community. The Speaker of Indonesia's Parliament, Bambang Soe Satio, has said that it was important to discuss means to delay elections amid natural disasters, wars, or even the pandemic. Indonesia, which is the world's third largest democracy, holds national elections every 5 years. The country currently has no framework to delay elections, and therefore politicians are calling for the constitution to be amended to allow such postponements. The idea of delaying elections has not been free from speculations, as it is seen as a move to allow President Joko Widodo to stay in power beyond his term. India's moon-bound Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft fired its engines for a short duration on Wednesday morning. The craft was put in a near circular orbit of 153 times 163 kilometers. And the next milestone will be the propulsion module and lander module going their separate ways on Thursday. The spacecraft is expected to touch down on the lunar surface on August 23rd. Meanwhile, India's President Draupadi Murmu has approved the delimitation notification issued by the Election Commission for Assam. According to Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, this is a significant milestone achieved in the history of Assam. Delimitation is defined as the act or process of fixing limits or boundaries of territorial constituencies in a country or a province having a legislative body. Around 2,000 soldiers, 200 armored vehicles and 100 planes and helicopters marched through the streets of Warsaw on the occasion of the Polish Armed Forces Day on Tuesday. The event constituted the largest military parade in Poland since the end of the Cold War. The NATO member country flexed its military muscle as a message to both Moscow and voters ahead of elections in October. Spectators said that the presentation of military equipment made them feel safe and is a show of strength of the Polish army and unity among NATO allies. The run to become the president of Ecuador continues to heat up in the backdrop of the assassination of candidate Fernando Villavicencio. Christian Zurita who is running in place of his friend Villavicencio, said that he would better equip the police to fight crime and show up social programs. Like his predecessor, Zurita is also an investigative journalist known for tracking alleged corruption. Meanwhile, Luisa Gonzalez said that she will use $2.5 billion from international reserves to shore up the struggling economy if elected. Gonzalez continues to lead polls ahead of the elections scheduled for August 20th. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tributes to former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee on his death anniversary on Wednesday. The Prime Minister said he played a pivotal role in boosting India's progress and taking it to the 21st century in a wide range of sectors. The first ever Prime Minister from the BJP, Vajpayee, is credited with popularizing the party beyond its base and running a coalition government successfully for 6 years. He also pushed reforms and boosted infrastructure in India. Santiago Peña took oath as the president of Paraguay outside the government palace in the capital of Asunción on Tuesday. The ceremony was attended by several regional leaders and Taiwan's Vice President William Lai, Spain's King Felipe the 16th, that's King Felipe VI, attended the inauguration ceremony along with presidents of Brazil, Argentina and Chile. Peña won the election earlier this year and put the long-running and long-ruling Colorado Party in power for 5 more years. The presence of Taiwan's vice president affirmed Peña's push to stand with Taiwan during his term. Peña also praised former President Horacio during his inaugural speech and promised better business reforms. Forest fires are raging in Spain's Canary Island. Eyewitness footage shared on social media shows wildfire engulfing the island. The local weather agency had warned earlier of a significant increase in temperatures in the region due to an air mass of tropical continental origin. Uncontrollable wildfire that had started on July 15th on La Palma has forced the evacuation of at least 4,000 people. This comes amid Europe battling with the high effects of scorching temperatures, with July being the hottest month recorded on both land and sea. Hawaii's Governor Josh Green says at least 106 dead amid incredible destruction. The Maui wildfire has been recorded as the deadliest fire in a century. Mobile morgue units or mobile mortuary units arrived on Tuesday to help Hawaii officials working to identify the remains of people killed in wildfires that ravaged Maui. Coroners, pathologists and technicians continue to use the tables, X-ray units and other equipment to identify victims and process remains of the victims.
Lots of footage is getting deleted, trajectory.
At least 2 people were killed in a fresh landslide after several houses collapsed in India's Shimla on Tuesday. Friends and families of missing people were seen anxiously waiting for their loved ones as rescuers continued to scrape through the debris. The incident was one of the deadliest landslides in the tourist hill town. Earlier, at least 57 people were reported dead in the state as torrential rains rattled the region and triggered massive landslides. Fort McMurray, Canada. Wildfires hit the town of Fort Smith in Canada. Airlifts began for hundreds of people from remote villages threatened by wildfires in order to take them to safety. Wildfires continue to threaten Yellowknife, which is the largest city in the region.
Any photo magic.
The death toll from a landslide at a resort town in northwestern Georgia rose to 26 on Tuesday. The town, Shovey, lies in a remote valley 140 kilometers northwest of the capital, Tbilisi. The town lies on the confluence of 2 rivers. Search operations continue for 7 people still missing from the landslide that occurred on August 3rd. Inflation is surging in the Central European country of Poland. As per the Central Statistical Office, inflation has increased to 10.8%. Residents say the price of vegetables sold at the market has almost doubled from last year. Meanwhile, people in Niger have begun to feel the toll of travel and economic sanctions imposed by West African regional bloc ECOWAS amid ongoing coup. Life has become increasingly expensive in capital city Niamey. Niger has a population of 25 million people and is considered one of the poorest in the world. But despite sanctions and its implications on the people, coup leaders have rejected ECOWAS's demand to release ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. As per humanitarian agencies, sanctions and suspensions of development aid are expected to have a dramatic impact on living conditions for a country already under heavy strain. Bolivian Catholic pilgrims observed an annual rock-breaking rite on Tuesday. The ritual called upon the Virgin of Acupina to bless them with good fortune. Worshippers collected rocks for blessing in a ceremony that brings together indigenous culture and Catholic rituals. The story originates from the traditional account of a poor shepherd girl who saw a vision of the Virgin Mary while flocking sheep. The shepherd girl was instructed by the vision to gather rocks and return home to her impoverished family. The rocks miraculously turned to silver, and the peasant family was saved from a life of poverty in the tale. Infosys is among the top gainers in Indian stocks today after the tech major bagged a $1.6 billion deal from Liberty Global. The deal is aimed at scaling the entertainment and connectivity platforms of the digital communications firm. This is Infosys' third mega deal this year as companies increasingly turn to AI and cloud to transform their businesses. However, brokerages are not positive on the development. Remember, Infosys has reduced its revenue guidance for the rest of the year as margins have taken a hit. Missed payments on investment products by a leading Chinese trust firm and a fall in home prices has added to worries that China's deepening property sector crisis is rapidly stifling what little momentum the economy has left. Zhongrong International Trust Company, which traditionally had sizable real estate exposure, missed payments on dozens of its investment products since late last month. China's concerns about its outsized exposure to property and risks to the wider economy have grown over the past year. The latest development adds another blow to the world's second largest economy, which is struggling to kickstart growth after the pandemic. Ola Electric, India's largest electric scooter manufacturer, launched its most affordable rides to entice buyers as the price gap between e-scooters and gasoline models shrinks. With the introduction of the S1X and S1X Plus models, priced at just under $1,200 and $1,320 respectively, Ola Electric is solidifying its position in the growing EV landscape. With their new platform, they've managed to slash production costs by 25%.